Welcome back. Now, the Pan-African Parliament is expected to vote for new leadership today amid high tensions over the elective process. Some members of the Parliament resorted to violence as frustrations grew, and this over whether the presidency should be on a rotational basis versus the current direct ballot box. Now, the Southern African caucus is leading the call for the rotation, while the East and West caucuses heavily oppose that notion. The vote is expected to begin at 2 p.m. today, allowing Parliament's clerk to receive a letter from the African Union clarifying which elective system will be deemed legal. So to talk to us a little bit more about this, we join on the line now by SABC News' foreign news editor, Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, good morning. So yesterday, those scenes that we saw from the Pan-African Parliament, many have called, in fact, disgraceful. But can you firstly just give us a recap of what transpired there?
You know, Sakina, it has been years the Southern Caucus, the SADC region, and other countries in different parts of the continent. That would include countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, the biggest countries in West Africa, who were calling for a rotational system. In other words, you have these regions on the continent, and when you elect the bureau, you must ensure that all these regions are represented, that will speak to inclusivity in terms of the Pan-African Parliament, because that is the same formula that is being used at the AU. And the Pan-African Parliament, as the organ of the AU, it was expected that they will also use the same system of rotation. But unfortunately, when you look at the Pan-African Parliament Act and all of that, this issue is not clearly outlined. Contrary to the AU, the African Union, where in each constitutive act, this is clearly spelled out. And that is why last year Ramaphosa was the president of the AU. And then this year you have the DRC. It will move all the time. Now, unfortunately, at the Pan-African Parliament, this has not been happening. It is always been the will of the majority of countries or regions. And therefore, the central region and part of the East and some countries in the West, majority, here you have French-speaking countries working together, even those in other different regions, to ensure that they always elect a president of the Pan-African Parliament from that group. And therefore, South Africa I think it was in 2016, when I was covering Pan-African Parliament, when it was raised, this issue. And since then, they've been fighting for this issue. And this time around, they said, we're not going to give up. And this time around, we are not moving. And leading the charge, of course, is South Africa and Zimbabwe, Namibia as well. So the MPs from those countries are saying, let us do what AU is doing. And unfortunately, the East, some of the East and Central, and here and there, North and West, are saying, no, we are not going to implement that. And that is the standoff. That's where the standoff is. Because others are saying, if we can't lead, it means we are not part of this thing.
And as you say, Sophie, so essentially what has happened to date in the Pan-African Parliament is that there hasn't been an opportunity for leadership from the North and the South at this stage. But the African Union is, of course, the mother body. So, and we heard yesterday calls asking for the African Union to actually give direction in this regard. So where are they? Where do they stand on this matter right now?
The African Union issued a letter. The Southern Caucus requested African Union to clarify and interpret the role of the Pan-African Parliament, because we have an African Parliament today because of the African Union. It is the organ of the African Union. And therefore, those who established the AU, I'm thinking Organization of African Unity, the successor to the Organization of African Unity, recommended that there should be this kind of a parliament, so that at ordinary people level, because you know that the intention here is that an MP represents ordinary people. There should be an input in terms of what Africa must do on issues of government and other related matters. But unfortunately now, the central and majority of other countries that are supporting Senegal are saying, and South Sudan are saying, no, this legal opinion from the African Union doesn't have a standing because it is from an advisory body or within the African Union, the legal department. It is not from the heads of state. These are the people we called who form an assembly of the AU, and they can only take an advice from the assembly. So it means it must be from either the president or the chair of the AU or the commissioner, Musa Faki. And now today they are waiting for that. Maybe they will get a letter from the president of DRC, Felix Tshisekedi, who is the chair of the AU, or perhaps they'll get a letter from Musa Faki, because this letter that they have that clarified this matter recommended that they adopt a rotation system. It is from just an ordinary legal person, and therefore they say that person doesn't have a standing in the AU. He is just an advisor to the AU, and AU must ratify. So that's where the debate is. So I don't know whether today they will get that letter, looking or reading the Twitter account of Musa Faki, how he responded. I don't know whether he will really give a clean clarity, or he's gonna also, be in the middle and allow Pan-African Parliament to finally take a decision on this matter. Because remember, he is also originally from the West.
We have to leave it there, but thanks so much for giving us more clarity on what exactly is going on there. And that was SAB News' foreign editor Sophie Mokoena to us there. And as many have said, not the greatest reflection of what Africa is about. If anything, it exacerbated what many have said, how far we have to go in terms of getting to a united Africa, if that is even possible. Time now, though, for sport, and Valence standing by with